All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about a massive economic shift that's happening right under our noses. It's a transition that's going to shape communities, jobs, and wealth for an entire generation. And it all kicks off with one absolutely enormous number. So, what's the big number? $5 trillion. That is the estimated total worth of over 1 million small businesses whose owners are getting ready to retire. Now, this isn't just some number on a spreadsheet. It's a huge wave of economic energy that could either fuel renewal all across the country, or it could just vanish. And that, right there, is the huge question we're tackling. I mean, think about it. The baby boomer generation built a massive part of America's small business landscape. So what actually happens when they all start retiring at roughly the same time? Well, the answer is one of the biggest economic stories of our lifetime. Okay, so let's get into it, this $5 trillion transition. Because this isn't something that's way off in the future. Nope. There's a clock ticking, and that countdown has already started. Just take a look at this timeline. We are right at the very beginning of this wave. By 2035, which is not that far away, a staggering 6 million small and medium-sized businesses are going to need new owners. This isn't some gentle slope. It's more like a cliff the economy is approaching, and this massive transfer of value is happening as we speak. And look, it's so important to remember just how vital these businesses are. We're not just talking about the corner coffee shop. We're talking about the actual backbone of the American economy. These companies employ over 60 million people. They generate about 35% of all business revenue. And so many communities, they are the main way people build wealth and get ahead. So, what if this all goes wrong? Well, that leads us to some pretty serious consequences. These ripple effects that happen when these crucial businesses don't find a new owner and instead just disappear. Now, this data is, frankly, shocking. In 2022, when small businesses left the market, 92% of them just shut down for good. Only 5% were actually sold, and a tiny 3% were transferred, usually to family. The big takeaway here is that the default option right now isn't a sale. It's just closing the doors. And that has enormous consequences. And this risk, yeah, it's not spread out evenly at all. Rural states like Maine, Montana, and Vermont are especially vulnerable. In these places, the value of these at-risk businesses makes up as much as 3.2% of their entire state's economy. And it's usually a combination of things: older business owners, and just not enough support systems to help find new ones. But, and this is a really big but, this is where the story completely flips. Because this huge challenge, this structural test, is also one of the single greatest opportunities we have to build a more equitable economy and create a whole new generation of wealth. This quote from a McKinsey report just nails it. This isn't just about baby boomers retiring. It's a real test of our whole economic system's ability to keep what's working and build a more inclusive future. It really makes you ask, can we keep these businesses going and protect the opportunities they create? Just think about the potential here for a second. Right now, women own businesses that make up about 23% of the total value. But if we could close that ownership gap, if we could bring women to parity, it would unlock an estimated $700 billion in new household wealth. That is an incredible number. And it's the same incredible story for Black entrepreneurs. The way things are now, they're projected to capture about $87 billion of this value. But with parity, that number could jump more than 4 times to $369 billion. This is one of the most direct ways we could tackle the racial wealth gap, like right now. So, okay, if the opportunity is this huge, why is it so ridiculously hard to sell a business? Well, it boils down to a fundamental problem with the market itself. It's basically invisible, it's broken up into 1 million pieces, and there's almost no support. You know, this quote really gets to the heart of it, the human side. It often starts with the owners themselves. I mean, their entire life's work, all their wealth is tied up in this one business, but they often have no idea how to even begin planning for an exit. They just don't know where to start. I mean, just think about it like this. The startup world, it's super visible, it's supported. You've got incubators, accelerators, venture capital, tons of help. But the market for buying a business that already exists, it is the complete opposite. It's invisible, getting a loan is a nightmare, and there's almost nobody there to help buyers and sellers connect. So that brings us to the solution. It's being called the renewal agenda. And this isn't just about stopping businesses from closing, it's about proactively building a brand new, better system that can support a whole new, diverse generation of business owners. And if we get this right, the payoff is just huge. We could keep up to 12 million jobs right where they are. We could protect $250 billion a year in local spending. And we could totally regenerate local economies by bringing in new leaders with fresh energy and new ideas. And that right there is the key. This quote really captures the spirit of this whole thing. It's not just about managing a transition to avoid a disaster. It's about actively going after a full-on renewal of our economy, making it stronger and more inclusive than ever before. But this isn't going to happen by itself. It takes a whole team effort. Banks have got to come up with new ways to finance these deals. We need more intermediaries. Think of them like matchmakers to connect good buyers with sellers. And public agencies and schools have a huge role to play in providing support and just making people aware this is even an option. And this quote, this is the vision. This is the ultimate goal. Just imagine a world where buying an existing, profitable business is just as normal, just as visible, and just as celebrated as launching a brand new startup. That's the future we should be aiming for. So here we are back at the beginning. This massive $5 trillion transfer is happening. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of how. The wave is here. And it leaves us with one critical choice. Are we going to let this become a crisis that hollows out our communities? Or are we going to grab it as the greatest opportunity for economic renewal we've seen in a generation? The path we take, well, it all comes down to what we decide to build, starting right now.